like to introduce you to my daughter for the first time ever on Talk of the Town with Lisa Peters. Elle Peters, thanks for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
Well, you know, it's funny because I told Ellie she had to volunteer today to be my camera and my floor director, and then I'm like, hey, let's talk about your own career choices, because you, right from early, like I think September, your last year of grade 12, you were already applying to U of S.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how you knew, like, how did you know what you wanted to do? Was it the schooling? Because it wasn't me. But how did you get there?
That was a really scary, thing for me, because it was September. They're like, it's time to start applying. And I was like, okay, I don't think I need to go to school anywhere crazy. I'm going to apply to Regina. I'm going to apply to Saskatoon. It's close to home. And then it was like, you need to decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I remember September and October being a really scary time for me, because I was like, I don't know what I want to do. You were just talking about what your life's supposed to look like. I didn't know what I wanted my life to look like. I didn't know, no idea. And so it was just taking a minute to reflect on my life. So I think it was right before I applied. I was mid-process applying, and I was like, which degree do I want to go into? I didn't know. And then eventually I just clicked one. I was like, I think that this is a good choice.
Okay. And throughout your schooling, was there ever a class that sort of inspired you, or was it a multiple of classes? Did classes give you options?
So I think it was if I look at all my classes and say what class did I do best in, or what class did I enjoy most, I don't think it was that. I think it was more specifically things within the class. Okay. So my through 9 through 12, my history classes, and then 11 and 12, my science classes, and also my Christian ethics class last year were they allowed you to do personal projects. And that's what I really enjoyed, because you got to choose things that interest you and things that you got to learn about. So in those last years, it was just me being I like this aspect, I like this, and kind of tying them together and being this is what I want to do. I could reflect on what I've been focusing on and be maybe this is where I belong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell everybody where you ended up.
So my plan is to go into nutrition. Right now I'm still undeclared, and that's just because the nutrition is a second year program. But it came from researching orthomolecular nutrition through a doctor that I had researched for a different class, and doing the relation between body image and food. And I did that in my Christian ethics class as a social issue. And then my science class, I researched the effect of acidity on growing food. And so I think just the connectedness of body image and food insecurity and using nutrition to solve illnesses and stuff, that all kind of tied together. And I was looking at what I was consuming on social media, and I was following a lot of dietitians. I was listening to podcasts because I just thought they were interesting. And I was like, wow, this is something I'm interested in, and just what I'm looking at and what I'm reading, and kind of tied that together. And I was like, I could do this. I'm interested in food, so.
Yeah. And do you continue to surround yourself with people like that in the profession? You're podcasting, because there's a difference, and you're in a nutrition program, but you ultimately are going to be a registered dietitian, because there's a big difference between a nutritionist and a registered dietitian.
And we had that conversation.
Yeah.
I think, so I've been I follow multiple registered dietitians on the internet, and I'm very careful about who I'm following, because I'll consume what they're telling me, because they're going to say they're going to have evidence-based stuff. They're not going to be shoving diets down your throat, whereas a lot of fitness influencers and food influencers are going to be you need to be doing this. And that's kind of where I decided to do it, is because I reflected on my own life and was I really don't like being told what to do.
Yeah.
When it's
really?
Okay, sorry. I don't like being told what to do when I can't trust it. When somebody's you need to be on this diet. I want to be able to look at it and be no, I don't need to be on that diet, and this is why.
Yeah.
And so that's why I chose this career, or that's why I chose this focus, is just because I want to be able to make that choice for myself.
Okay, so my last question is, because you are now almost on your first year, to which she is acing, oh my goodness, and you have to put an application in to get into the nutrition program. What if you don't get in? What is your plan B? What do you think?
Yeah, so applying, they're you need to have a plan B. And I kind of do. I've looked into other classes there, and they have a food science program. So I can just continue in that, because I'm in the College of Arts and Science right now, and that's a science degree, so I can do that. Other than that, I'm just gonna take classes that I enjoy, and maybe classes that are the nutrition classes. I can see all the ones that I'm supposed to take, and so I can go with those. But it's also I get to choose a lot of electives. No matter what you choose, you're going to be able to apply it to whatever program you go into. So I really enjoyed my English class this year. And like, I'm not going to be an English major. I love English, but it's like, I'm not going to focus on it, right? But I still think that like, maybe I'll take a creative writing class as one of my electives. Like, why wouldn't I? And like, I just think it's a time to be able to do what you want. And there's so many interesting classes that I think that's like, if I don't get in, I'm just going to keep learning about the things that I want to and hopefully apply it to my future. But like, if not, it's a fun time.
Oh, Ellie, you're an inspiration. I love you.
I do.
All right, well, thank you for coming on and sharing. And I love that you have thought about a plan B and that it's like, as Jolene said, it's about passion and just keep following and do what you love.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, there you go. I have like little tears of happiness. That's my daughter, Elle Peters, and we were talking about her own career choices. Jolene Watson, just sharing, follow your passion, but do the research, and Ellie has, and her dad and I are super proud of her. So that's it here on Talk of the Town, because I'm going to have an emotional moment now with my daughter. But I want to thank you for joining us here on Talk of the Town. We love having you Monday to Friday, 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 5:30. Now go make your own day great.